Hello, and welcome to the Soulful Self-Development Podcast. I'm so glad you're here. My name is Hannah Sutherland. I'm a lover of all things self-care, personal development, and spirituality. I have created this podcast to help you grow into the most soulful version of yourself while creating more joy, magic, and purpose in your everyday life. If you're ready to live a life so full, then you, my friend, have come to the right place. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and now let's dive deep. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Soulful Self-Development Podcast. I am super excited for today's episode on manifestation. But before I get started, I just wanted to say a big thank you to everybody. I received so many messages, DMs, phone calls, and comments congratulating me and letting me know how much you guys love the show. And it just means the absolute world to me. I'm so thankful that you guys enjoyed it. And I can't wait to keep creating more podcasts for you guys. My heart is literally so full, and I love you guys so much. So thank you. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and we are going to dive right in. So manifestation, I love manifestation. I like to think of it as magic, a little bit of magic that we get to create with us and the universe. So what is manifestation? If you don't know, manifestation is pretty mainstream right now, so I'm sure you've heard about it, but there's a lot of misconceptions about manifestation and how it works and what it is. So I kind of just want to clear that up for you guys and give you some tips and tricks about it, how to use it and implement it in your life, and all that jazz. So manifestation is the universal process of your imaginations, thoughts, dreams, and desires coming into your physical reality. So whatever you spend your time thinking about or energy doing will eventually become your reality, because where attention goes, energy flows. And this altogether is the process of manifestation. So for an example, if you are focused on becoming an artist and you have always dreamed of becoming an artist and you are learning how to draw and paint and learning all these different art skills, then you are an artist. You are becoming an artist. You are manifesting being an artist, and it only takes a little bit of time and shifting a little bit of energy before that is already your reality. And a big part of that is also mindset, because you can have this mindset of like, I want to be that, I'm going to be that, and it always seems so far away, just out of reach. But when you take the time to realize and identify that you are already that is kind of a trick to manifestation, believing that it's already true, believing that you already have it, and then your manifestation becomes your reality. So manifestation is not just something that you do for 20 minutes a day. It's not like meditating. You just meditate for 10, 20, 30 minutes a day and it helps to calm you down. Manifestation is always happening. You can't turn it on and off. It is a 24-hour process. It is always going on. So this is why it's so important that we be aware of what we're spending our time thinking about, where we're spending our energy, where you spend your time, and how you treat yourself and others is also very important when it comes to manifestation, because it all plays into creating your reality. And also your beliefs. Your beliefs are a really big one, because our subconscious mind holds all of our beliefs, and our beliefs we get all this information into our brain all the time. We are constantly stimulated with things, and we have something called the reticulating activation system in the brain, and it filters out the information that we receive. So all the beliefs that you hold in your subconscious mind become the filters that get placed in this reticulating activation system. And so the information that comes through you only pick up on the information that proves to you your beliefs that you already have to be true, things that you are become in your awareness. So you're getting all this information all the time, but if your subconscious mind is programmed to think negatively and all these negative things, then you're going to pick up on all the negative things around you, and that's what you're going to notice. But if you program your subconscious mind to pick up on the positive things and all the things you're grateful for and all your hopes and dreams and magic, then your subconscious mind will filter through that information, and that's what you will notice in your conscious awareness. So manifestation is very, very important, and your beliefs are very, very important, because when you believe you can't do something, or you believe it's never going to happen for you, or it's just out of reach, or can't, you are actually right, and you can't, and it won't, and it will never happen. As a teacher, I tell this to my students all the time. My kids are not allowed to say can't in my classroom, because I say, you're right. If you say, I can't do this jump, you will never do the jump. But when you tell yourself, I can do it, and you take the time to figure it out, and you might not be able to do it the first time you try. Most of us can't do things the first time we try, and that's okay. That's how it's supposed to be. If we just tried everything once and just was amazing at it 100%, then life wouldn't be fun, because that would end up being boring really fast. And we wouldn't be learning a lot, because it just would come natural. And some things do come more natural to others, but we learn from failure. We learn from having to reevaluate and try things in a different way. So it's important that we also fail. Okay. So manifestation is essentially the story that we tell ourselves, the story that we are writing for ourselves. So your life is a blank slate. You always have a blank slate, and you get to decide what you want to create in your life through manifestation. And when we decide the story that we tell ourselves, this is when we're giving ourselves power in what we choose to manifest. So another thing about manifestation that I'm going to say just before I explain this is that manifestation is neutral. It does not understand good or bad. It is all neutral. You will manifest whatever you spend your energy on. If you spend your energy on always worrying that you're going to get injured, you're going to get injured, because you're feeding that energy to your manifestations, and that's just what is going to happen. It doesn't understand that that's something bad, something you don't want. You're still spending your energy thinking about that, worrying about that. Therefore, that is going to manifest into your life in some way. So, I'm going to tell you the story about something that manifested for me. This summer, I was working on a really big project. I redid the outside of a log house, and the front of this house had huge, beautiful windows. And this mountain view, and it was just incredible. And I avoided doing that part of the house for so long. I left it till the end because I was so scared to break one of those windows, because they're huge windows. And I was like, I don't want to do this, I don't want to break a window, I don't want to do this, I don't want to break a window. So I did the whole around the house, and then I finally got to that part. I had to sand it. What did I do? I broke a fucking window. Literally, the sander flew right out of my hand, smashed the window, and I was like, oh, I did this to myself. I can't be mad, because I literally did this to myself. I spent the whole summer worrying about not breaking a window, and I broke a window. I could have just been like, oh, well, this is going to be easy. I'm just going to sand this real quick and move on. Nope, I had to spend 3 months worrying about breaking this damn window, and then I did. So this is just proof that manifestation isn't always good. You can manifest bad things, you can manifest negative things, you can manifest good things, you can manifest neutral things, because manifestation doesn't know what good or bad or it just is. It is a law. It is just something that always is going to happen. So you have to be aware of if you are making your manifestations good or bad. That's all your fault. All up to you. And when we choose to make room for more positive things and we choose to have more positive things in our lives, then we make that room for those things to come in. When we make that decision of that's what we want, I want my dream boyfriend, I want my dream house, I want my dream car, I want all these dreams for me to come true. These dreams are already coming true. They're already true. Then you're making room for them in your life. You're creating those beliefs, which it only takes time, depending on what it is and depending how many limiting beliefs you have blocking that manifestation. Things can manifest almost instantly if you do the right things to create that manifestation. If you have the right beliefs in place, if you get rid of your limiting beliefs or blocks that are in the way of that happening, manifestations can happen very, very, very quickly, or they can happen over a longer period of time if you have some obstacles to overcome before you are ready for that manifestation to be true in your life. But either way, it will come. Patience is a virtue. And the funnest part about manifesting is that you can literally manifest anything. The limit does not exist. The limit does not exist. You are a limitless being in a infinite universe, multiverse, really. And there is infinite possibilities out there, so get crazy with it and listen to your heart's desires, because those things actually are easier to manifest when things are in alignment with you and your purpose in this life and where it is that the universe is trying to move you. Those kinds of things end up manifesting super, super quickly because they are in alignment with your purpose, they are in alignment with you, and they can happen really, really fast. I'm going to tell you one of my most magical manifestation stories in a minute. But you can manifest anything. Manifest a good parking spot on your way to the grocery store. You could manifest your dream partner. You could manifest traveling the world first class. And it doesn't mean you have to manifest enough money to do that. I have an auntie that wanted to manifest that in her life, and she manifested it through her job in a special way, and now her and her family get to fly first class all over the world. And she told me about that. I was like, oh my god, that's actually so cool, because they had a special way of doing it. And it's also important to know that we get to decide what we want to manifest, but the universe decides how that happens. So if you say, I want to be rich, I'm going to be rich, I want to be rich, I want a lot of money, I'm going to manifest all this money, I'm going to win the lottery. Okay, well, you can manifest being rich and having a lot of money, and that's totally okay. But if you think that the only way that's going to come into fruition is winning the lottery, then you're actually blocking the universe from doing its thing. And you're kind of putting up a restriction of like, I only want it if it's coming this one way. And there are infinite ways for your manifestation to come true. So when we think we know how it's going to happen, and we have this idea in our minds that you're going to win the lottery or whatever that is, you're creating a block, and it's going to put resistance in that manifestation. The universe has the coolest ways of doing things, and things come out of manifestation unexpectedly all of the time. Some crazy shit can be manifested, and it'll come to you in a totally way that you didn't even think about. So just be really careful, because that is one of the biggest ways to block a manifestation, other than probably limiting beliefs or having energetic blocks. But just be open to anything, any possibility, because anything is possible. You can manifest anything, and it can come in any way. And it's kind of a mindfuck, because it's crazy to think about. Like, that is a lot. It's like, oh my god, I can have anything I want, and it's coming to me in all these different ways. But it's true, and when you actually believe that and embody that feeling, you'll see the magic start to happen. And you are manifesting. Even if you don't manifest your biggest dreams and desires, you're manifesting your biggest fears if that's what you're spending all your time thinking about. So just be aware. And manifestations come easier to you when you are in a state of flow, and also when you are in alignment with your soul's desires or your soul's purpose. So when you're being in a state of flow is a feminine energy, and it is essentially when you play, when relax, and just know that things are flowing to you, and you just sit there without restriction. I have a visualization practice that I do to practice being in the state of flow. Is I imagine myself floating in a river or lake or ocean, whatever, a body of water, and I just imagine myself that the water is everything. The water is abundance, the water is the entire universe, and I am laying in the water, and I'm surrounded by the water, and I'm flowing with the water, and it's a pretty magical feeling when you get into that energy and you just can imagine yourself. My water is always pink and sparkly because I love pink and sparkly things, but it can be whatever you want it to be when you visualize it in your own mind. But I like to visualize that and just be one with the universe, one with the energy, one with the state of flow. And things come a lot faster. I personally have a more masculine energy, and I feel like I have to go all the time and get stuff done. But when you stop, sit back, relax, and enjoy that feminine flow, enjoy that sense of play and joy, and for me, dancing is a really big one too, then manifestations just start to come and happen faster, and that is more powerful. And also being in alignment, I did mention this earlier, but it's super important. When you sit down and think about what it is that makes you you, that makes you special, that lights you up the most, that if you could do anything in the world, if you could have anything in the world, your biggest hopes and dreams. Anyway, if you have these desires, they are in alignment with your soul's purpose. When you listen to your heart and your soul, that is what it is you are here, that you are meant to do. When you listen to other people's hopes and dreams, those are for them. So if you maybe grew up with parents that projected their dreams onto you and it never seemed to work out because that's not what was meant for you, that was meant for them, and they didn't follow that dream, and that's sad, and I hope in their next life they get to follow their dreams. But for you, don't do things because you feel like you have to do it for somebody else, because you're going to have so many blocks in that path. The universe is going to be trying to turn you around and guide you back towards the way you're supposed to go. But when you're in alignment and in flow with your purpose, things will happen so freaking fast. And this is my story of something that happened to me. So a couple summers ago, oh my goodness, this will be 3 summers ago already, because this is my 3rd year teaching. So I was living in Lloyd, and I was waitressing, and I was at the point where I was like, I hate this. I hate what I'm doing. I don't want to be around these people anymore. I'm over it. I want to move on. I want to do something else with my life. My spiritual journey was really unfolding. So I ran away for the summer. I went and worked for my dad. I painted the outside of his house, did a whole project, took me all summer. And then I was like, okay, I don't know what I'm going to do next. I was getting close to being done this project, and I was like, well, shit, I don't know what I'm going to do. So I bought this book, and it was called Discover Your Purpose by Sahara Rose. I super highly recommend it. It's a super good book. You should read it, especially if you're in a stage in your life where you're not sure what you want to do next, or you feel like you need a change, or if you're young and starting to go to university and stuff. This book will be super, super helpful. Anyway, I bought this book and I was reading it, and in this book there was a activity to do, and it said to write down everything that brings you joy, that lights you up. And it said to especially think back to when you were a kid. So the first thing that I wrote was dance. And a little bit of a backstory to do with dance. I grew up dancing. My auntie owned a dance studio, but when I was about 12 years old, my mom caused some drama at the dance studio, and there's this whole big blowout, and all this stuff happened. Anyway, we quit dancing, and I didn't dance again until I did, when I was 15, 16, I did a solo for 2 years, and me and my sister did a duet 1 year, but I never took dance classes. It was more just because I loved to dance and I wanted to do it again, but I never went back into groups or training or anything. But I love dancing. My inner child loves dancing, and I still would try to dance even though I was never super good at it because I only danced until I was 12, but it was something that I felt like I needed to be called back into my life. So that was the first thing I wrote, and I'm not kidding when I say literally the next day, the freaking next day, my cousin messaged me and asked me if I wanted to come and teach dance for her because her and her sister owned the studio. And I just instantly bawled my eyes out. I knew it was such a gift from God. I knew it was my grandma helping me out and giving me this back. And I also had set a condition for myself that I would never move back to Lloyd unless my one and only condition was that I would get to be reunited with my family that lived there because it had been 10 years. My parents are now divorced, so there's not this weird thing. And I decided that if I was to ever move back, that would be a really big goal of mine to get us all back to being a family and cousins, hanging out, all that kind of thing. So I had one interaction with them before I moved to BC. I had gone to an Easter dinner at my auntie's house, and that was the only time I had ever talked to them pretty much since I was a child. So she texted me and asked me if I wanted to dance. I bawled my eyes out. I was like, absolutely, I'm going back. I'm going to do this. And then I started freaking out, like, oh my God, there's no way I am good enough to teach dance. There's no way. And then I started panicking and I was like, am I going to know enough? Am I going to remember enough? Yeah, I knew enough. I'm more than qualified. I teach little kids to dance. I have to teach them how to point their toes. I for sure know how to point my toes some of the times, but I get to dance around with them. I get to play games with them. And I've got to do choreography too as well I had like 6 groups the first year and 13 groups the second year, I think, that went to competition. Just young kids, just teaching them how to tap, jazz, ballet, hip hop. And I just love it so much. It was so good for my creativity. It is something I meant to do. It is in my soul. It is in my heart. I'm so good at it. I've won choreography awards both years that I taught. And I just the amount of love I get from those children is insane. I've never experienced anything like it. And I just thank the universe every day for bringing me that manifestation. That happened so fast, literally in one day, and I had no clue that would happen. It was not even a thought in my mind ever that would come for me. I thought it was just like I needed to dance more. I would put music on and just go out on the front deck of my dad's house and dance. And yeah, and then I did a solo the first year that I taught at the recital, and my dad had came down to watch the recital, and he was like, oh my God, I didn't know you could dance like that. And I was like, Dad, this is my passion. This is what I love. He was kind of blown away. Last year I didn't dance, and I was actually mad at myself that I didn't do a solo. I felt like I had some mental blocks that prohibited me from being creative in that way. And so this year I am doing a solo. I'm halfway done it, and I'm super excited. I love the song. It's really sad. I love dancing to sad music. Even though I'm a very happy person, I love contemporary and lyrical. It's like, let me cry on stage. Anyway, now I'm kind of getting off topic. But that was the biggest manifestation of my life that's ever happened so quickly. 2 for 1, really, because now my family, all my cousins are super close. We get to do things together all the time. We have once a month, we have a big family supper. I live with my cousin and her kids right now, and they are just my whole world. I absolutely adore them. The kids want to come on a podcast. They have been begging me to come on a podcast, so I am going to do one with them here soon. And I'm also going to do one with my cousin, and she is just the coolest. We are actually so much alike, and we have a lot of similarities in our astrology charts too, which is funny because we are literally, sometimes we just look at each other and we're like, oh my God, we are the same person. So I am so thankful that manifestation came true and that they are back in my life forever. And I'm going to tell you about my biggest trick for manifestation is actually gratitude. But not only gratitude for the things that you have in your life now, but also gratitude for all the things that you want in your life. you kind of pretend as if they're already true. So I did to do this thing that I call Dear Universe. So I write a letter to the universe. Sometimes I do it every day, sometimes I just do it once in a while, depends on what I'm going through. But I say, Dear Universe, and I say, thank you for, and then I just go off and do this whole thank you love letter to the universe. I'm like, thank you for my amazing boyfriend. I love him so much. He is so sexy. Thank you for my apartment with 2 bedrooms, so I have an office and it has beautiful light for all my plants. And thank you, universe, for my family. I love them so much and I feel so much love from them. And you just go on and on and on and on and say thank you and I love you about all these things in your life. And I did that and I manifested my now ex-boyfriend, but he was also somebody I needed in my life a lot. I was manifesting to really learn about my sexuality, and he 100% taught me about that, and I've never been so comfortable with somebody before, and I really needed that on my journey. And it really opened and unlocked a whole nother part of myself that I'm now really excited to dive into and explore more. But I had written a list of everything I wanted in my boyfriend, and it was literally him from start to finish. And we weren't meant to be together forever. There was definitely parts that I missed in the list that I now know I need to write in my next list when I decide that's something I want to manifest again. But it was so specific and so accurate. It was actually crazy. I had actually forgotten I wrote the list, and probably a couple months into us dating, I found it and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that's exactly what I wrote down, and it was literally him to a T. Somebody that likes to dance with me, somebody that I have a lot of fun with. I can't remember what they all said, but that was our whole life. We were both DJs, so we spent our whole entire year dating, dancing, and DJing, and it was a lot of fun. And I will always love him in a special way, but we both knew that it wasn't something that would be forever. We had a lot of different beliefs, and that's okay. And so we are moving on with our lives now, and I feel really good about it. And I will tell you another story about when I talk to you about intuition and signs from the universe in another episode. But a couple ways that you can help your manifestations even more, other than my thank you universe, is to ground them. So actually writing them down grounds your manifestations into the physical world. Saying them out loud also helps, but writing them down I find is a little more powerful. Believing that it's already yours. It's already mine. I already have the most amazing husband. I already have the most amazing kids. I already have my dream home. It's just a matter of time before it shows up. Trusting and believing in the universe. Believing that the universe has all this infinite resources that it's going to share with you. Believing that the universe is on your side. Knowing that it wants to help you and guide you and take you to where you need to go. Affirmations are also a big one. Just affirming to yourself that it's true, that that's what you want, that that's who you are. Hypnosis is also a really big one, so you can find guided hypnosis. You can go to a hypnotherapist. They can help a lot when it comes to getting rid of mental blocks that are blocking your manifestations. Visualizations are also very powerful, especially at hypnosis and visualizations both. There's a certain state of mind. It's called theta brainwaves, and it's the state you are in between being awake and being asleep. So when you go to sleep at night is a super, super, super powerful time because you are directly communicating to your subconscious mind, which holds all your beliefs. So when you do hypnosis, it kind of puts you in this state as well. Meditation also puts you in this state. And visualizing while you are in hypnosis or meditation is just super, super powerful for connecting to and reprogramming that part of your brain. And that will just super help your manifestations. Removing limiting beliefs, which also relates to the hypnosis and visualizations, but getting rid of those limiting beliefs and replacing them with ones that are limitless will help you a lot. Gratitude, as always, gratitude is so important. Gratitude raises your vibration so much, and the higher your vibration, the higher vibrational things you're going to manifest into your life. You can also ask for help or communicate with your angels and spirit guides. They are there to help you on this journey. When you communicate with them, they will do their best to do whatever it is you ask for. They are awesome. They are like a team of warriors that you have on your side all the time, and they can move pieces and move things around and help you when that's what you need. So make sure to ask them and learn to communicate with them. They are super awesome. I love my angels and guides. I appreciate them. I will talk about them more in another episode. And yeah, I think that's about it for today. So thank you so much for listening. I can't wait to chat with you again next week. Let me know if there's anything you would like me to talk about. Never be shy to reach out to me. I absolutely love hearing from you guys, and I hope you have the best rest of your day, rest of your week, and I love you so much. Bye! Thank you so much for tuning in today and making Soulful Self-Development possible. I am grateful for each and every one of you. If you enjoyed the show today, make sure you rate, review, and subscribe. Stay tuned for new episodes coming out every Wednesday. You can connect with me on social media at soulful.self.development. I would absolutely love to hear from you. You guys make my heart so full. See you next time.